What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about if we're going to get a Mafia 2 remaster today. So, it's been a little while since the last Mafia video. A couple different things have happened, so I kind of want to go over what has happened, what even you guys, back when I made those videos, you guys were theorizing what we could be getting from this Mafia trilogy, and I kind of want to go over that. I do think, to I guess, maybe jump right into the topic for those that don't want to wait, I really do think today could be the day we're getting Mafia 2. I really, really do. I think a lot of the signs are pointing to the trilogy being a separated thing, which, again, we talked about last week, right? This is very different. Just in general, the idea that Mafia 1 is the remake, right? Built from the ground up, completely, brand new. And I would even have, I believe, new elements we even talked about, too, like new things being added to it. Mafia 2 is the remaster. I know a lot of people want a remake for Mafia 2. I do, too. I mean, I as you guys know, I've never played Mafia 2. I just think a remake is better than a remaster just in general. But I would take either or. I get the want for a remake. And then obviously Mafia 3 is like the definitive edition, right? Like missing pieces added in, everything put together, the DLCs being put together, all that kind of stuff. That is Mafia 3. So remember, that is where we're at now. That's what's being talked about as the Mafia trilogy. Now we're going to get more information in basically just a few hours today. And by the way, after that happens, I will be having another video, third video of today. So we do like 3 videos a day. The third video today will be talking about whatever happens, whatever the Mafia announcement is. But again, as time has gone on, it seems more and more likely that these games are probably going to be, or at least Mafia 2, right, is going to be split up. So for the longest, remember, even last week, I talked about, all right, how exactly do you do this? Because the ESRBs have already raided a lot of the different areas. And I haven't seen many people reporting on if there's been any additional things, like if in the US it's been raided or in the UK or anything like that. They're kind of like, different parts of the world, basically, right? Like smaller parts that you wouldn't necessarily think of. But you know what? Obviously, people live there, so it's not like they're unimportant. In fact, they are very important, right? Because they kind of give us info as to if this is coming. But we've gotten that more and more, and it definitely does seem like, and from different leaks, different rumors, it definitely does seem like Mafia 2 comes out today. So the Mafia trilogy gets announced, but Mafia 2 comes out today. Remember, we talked about, all right, well, what do you do? Do you buy Mafia 2, and is Mafia 2 separate, or do I buy Mafia 2 and then I have to buy it again in the trilogy in August? And what you guys were saying, even to those comments, were, well, what if it's a thing where you unlock them? So what if today, literally in a couple hours, Mafia trilogy gets revealed, okay? And you can pre-order it. Technically, you're buying it. And in fact, you probably would have to put down the money right now. So say literally it just goes live on PlayStation, on Xbox. You can just buy the Mafia trilogy, but you get the games over time. So Mafia 2 unlocks today in a couple hours, and then Mafia 1 and 3 would unlock at the end of August. Or even, I don't even know if they would want to spread even further. That would kind of be weird, but it also maybe even makes sense, right? Do you do like Mafia 1 in like July, or do you do Mafia 3? Like, basically, my question is, which of those 2 other games, 1 and 3, which do you leave to the longest point? Because really, from what I've seen on the internet, okay, and again, this is not to be mean to Mafia 3, but nobody really wants it, okay? I mean, I guess people do, but in the larger scope, obviously everybody talks about how great Mafia 2 is, and even in the comments of last week's videos, I made 3 videos in back-to-back days, and there were so many comments that said, I cannot wait to play Mafia 1's remake, and you know what? I do too. A lot of people were telling me, like, you know what? There was a lot of potential, there was a lot of promise with Mafia 1. Really, all it needs is a little bit of a newer version to it, and that's what we're getting now, right? So I think Mafia 1 is going to be looked at very, very highly now. Mafia 2 obviously always has been. So again, not to smear Mafia 3, but it's like, do you put that in July or June and people can play that early, or do you wait for that, and do people even want to wait for that? It's going to be an interesting, but again, the whole situation of this Mafia trilogy is a little weird. Like, again, nobody actually in the comments, I didn't see any other examples of games that have done this, so maybe this is the very first time a game has done something like this, kind of staggered, where not all 3 things are like the same thing in a collection, but it's interesting. I really do think in just a few hours, I guess what I think is going to happen, let's go over my predictions. So we'll get the trailer. We'll get like a full-on trailer. It'll show parts of all 3 games. I think that's pretty guaranteed, right? And then at the end, I would imagine it would say Mafia 2 Remastered now available. Okay? And now again, I really think they're going to, it's interesting because is it going to be literally, is it what, 9 a.m. Pacific time? Is it literally just going to be a 3-minute trailer and that's it? Like that is the Mafia announcement of today. That is the game announcement of today, right? It's just like a 3-minute trailer. Is that it? I mean, it very well could be. I don't know if they would do like, okay, well now we're going to send it over to the development team and they're going to talk about it and they're going to do a live stream or they're going to have a gameplay presentation. Now, what I could see happening, and I think it's very likely, is maybe actual gameplay or pictures or something on the side, like literally released at the same time. Remember, last week the thing was Microsoft basically leaked it, right? It came out on the Microsoft Store. I believe it was taken down, but it was there where there were screenshots, and obviously people took those, right? There was like 8 screenshots for the Mafia remake. It gave info, basically, as what to expect for these 3 games. That's pretty much how people have put together, gave the release date. It's how people have put together all the stuff that we know so far. So, again, the question is it just today a trailer? Is it just a 3-minute trailer? At the end it says Mafia 2 now available. But again, you have to clarify. I think it's very important. You have to clarify in this trailer. Maybe they do it through words. Maybe they do it through a narrator, right, talking about it. But they need to clarify at some point that if Mafia 2 does come out today, then it's part of the Mafia trilogy. I really think, because again, we talked about that last week, right? If I buy Mafia 2, I should get a discount. I should get, something for the Mafia trilogy. And by the way, just so nobody kind of, takes that out of context, I literally mean like I guess in that way, if I bought Mafia 2 and the game's $60, the Mafia trilogy, and I bought it for $20, then I would only have to pay $40 for the trilogy. But again, that's really wacky. That doesn't exactly work. And remember, last week I was like, how could we get it to work? And you guys, who are a lot more creative and smarter than me, you guys honestly, I think, came up with the perfect one. And you know what? It is like Call of Duty, right, where they're doing Modern Warfare 2. They've done they're going to do eventually going to do Modern Warfare 3. Think of it like that. I really do think that's very, very likely that 2 comes out. That's the first one. It's the one, for some reason, it's the one that's most done. Even though you would think Mafia 3 would also be. That's the other thing, though. Mafia 3, wouldn't that be almost done, too? Because it's literally just Mafia 3. And I guess slight graphical enhancements, and then you add the DLC to it, and you add some missing things, but like overall, it's pretty much the same. I mean, I think out of all the games, Mafia 3's, whatever we get from this trilogy, Mafia 3 is pretty much the closest to the original that we're getting, so I don't know why that one wouldn't be the first one to give out. And again, maybe they're giving out 2 because they know that 2 is the most popular. I feel like, honestly, that is the reason. 1 is a remake, and that is important, that is big. It's actually, out of all 3 of them, Mafia 1's remake, I think, is the biggest deal. I really do, because it's not a remaster, it is a remake completely built from the, built from the ground up again. So I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think Mafia 1 is going to stand out the most, even though Mafia 2 is, these are all from what you guys said. Mafia 2 is the better game, but I really do think Mafia 1 is gonna end up standing out the most out of all 3 of these games. But again, they may think, okay, well, Mafia 2, people really want that. That's obviously the most loved of the games. We'll start out, and it's a remaster, so it is done. We'll give that out first, right? I think that's very, very likely, and you guys made a lot of sense when you suggested that idea. I think, honestly, that is the only way you can do it, is buy the trilogy. And it kind of sucks. Maybe you could even do it in a way where you can buy Mafia 2 separate as well as in the trilogy. Because no matter what, here's the deal. To finish this video off, here's the deal. At the very least, no matter what they do today, I keep wanting to say tomorrow, by the way, because I'm recording this the day before. No matter what they do today, what they have to do is, if you buy Mafia 2, it either has to be separate or it has to be part of the trilogy. So if I want the trilogy, if I want to buy all 3 of them, I need to be able to purchase it today and unlock Mafia 2. What they cannot do is only give Mafia 2 out by itself and then say, well, if you want it as part of the trilogy, if you want to play it with 1 and 3, well, you got to wait till end of August 28th. But if you just want to play Mafia 2, well, that'll be $20, please. And then also, you'll have to pay $60 later to get all 3. You know what I mean? That right there, that is what they absolutely cannot do. Again, I'm not terribly opposed to making it the system that you guys suggested. Have us buy the trilogy today, and then have Mafia 2 also release today. And if you buy the trilogy today, you unlock Mafia 2 and you can play it right away. Do that. But then if you also, I guess, want to do Mafia 2 on its own, then you could do that. What I think is probably going to happen, which is going to be a little dirty, and I'm not necessarily going to love it, but I feel like this is something that could very, very likely happen. I don't think a lot of people are going to think this, but the game's not going to, maybe this would be obvious too, but the game I don't think would be $20 on its own, by the way. So I think what they'll do is they'll do the trilogy. You pay $60, you get all three of them, and if Mafia 2 unlocks today, it unlocks today. But if you buy Mafia 2 separate, say you're like, I don't want anything to do with 1's remake, and I don't want 3, and I also don't want to wait till August to get all, to get like the full package, like I just don't want to deal with it, you could buy Mafia 2's remaster for like $30. I feel like it's either going to be $30 or $40. I don't feel like it's going to be $20. I don't think, literally, because there's 3 games in a package, I don't think they're individually worth $20. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to happen. And maybe that's going to make people upset. Ultimately, it may just drive more people to buying the trilogy, which I think ultimately, I mean, the Mafia fans are going to do that anyway, right? So people, I guess, on the outside looking in that maybe want, and even myself, right? Someone who wants to jump into it, was burned, greatly by Mafia 3. I did not like that game. I'm very willing to get the whole thing. I want to play 1. I want to see what the remake of 1 can do. I've heard so many great things about 2. And yeah, you know what? Once I'm done with them, and if I have time, if it doesn't come, if it is August 28th and there's no other games around it, although like the week after is Avengers and Cyberpunk, like those come out like back-to-back weeks afterwards, like yeah, there'll be games that'll probably keep me busy, but if I do have time, maybe I'll jump into Mafia 3 again, right? So I am willing to give all 3 of them a chance. But guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think we're getting Mafia 2 today? How do you think they're going to do it? Do you think that you can buy it separately? Do you think if you buy the trilogy, you should unlock it today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, or just a couple hours, the video, again, is going to probably get a lot of views in the beginning and then completely fall off because the announcement will happen, right? So I really do honestly appreciate all of you guys that are watching it right now. Again, the 3rd video of today, so we're going to have another video in a couple hours. It'll be on something different. And then the 3rd video, I'll be talking about whatever happens. If it's the entire thing, if it's Mafia 2 coming out, I'll make a video. And then if Mafia 2 does unlock today, the next couple days, I'll have videos on it. So if you guys want to see anything specific on Mafia 2, let me know, because I can definitely make videos over the next couple days. I have a couple like open slots that I'm waiting for to fill if Mafia 2 comes out. I'll definitely cover that game over the next couple days on this channel and as well as my 2nd channel, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.